Okay, we're back. The show must go on. I'm Christine Gritmon, back with social with Jessika Phillips of Now Marketing Group, and we're talking about relationship marketing. Now, Jessica, you said relationship marketing is basically investing in that relationship and their needs rather than viewing your client and agency relationship as transactional, right?
Absolutely. And really, truly understanding who your ideal audience is and who they're not, and only working with those that you can truly serve, show up for, and create a great experience for.
I love that. So what's an example of someone who you cannot serve, and how do you know?
Okay, so those we call the negative personas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's people that you're just not a good fit for. You don't align well for, right?
And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. It's just you need to know what you do.
Exactly. Yep. So if somebody's coming to me and they're looking for, let's say it's a national band and they're wanting us to do their marketing for them, and we're like, okay, we're probably could we put something together? Yeah, but would we be the best solution for you? Probably not. I would refer you on to someone that does that and specializes in that and pass that lead on. And we've done that. We've done just that, and we've also received leads back from others saying the same thing. Like, we're not the best solution for them, because the whole key is when we get clients in, we're asking them, okay, where are you getting your best leads? And 99.9% of the time it's word of mouth referrals. It's like, so how can we grow and double down on that? It's only by over delivering, right? And being exceptional in your experience and your delivery on what you say you're going to do. And the only way to do that is to work with people that you can truly help in that way.
And that's a very scary risk for a lot of people to take, because it sounds like, I mean, you're going to be saying no to people, right? You're going to be saying no a fair amount so that you can make sure you bring your best to the people who you are best for. So how do you get over that fear?
Oh, it's super hard, especially at the beginning when you start doing it and you're like, oh my God, the money's like right there, right? Yeah. And I have to say no. I'm not going to lie. It sucks kind of at first. And you have to really go in with the whole thought process of relationship marketing is this is a long end game, right? Yeah. So it is not an immediate quick fix. If you're looking for that, this is not the thing for you. But if you do want something that's sustainable and that's going to grow over time, this is the path for you. So in order to get comfortable with it, you have to really know, okay, am I creating culture credit or culture debt, and look at everything that way, because the only way to grow and the only currency that really matters at the end of the day is the relationships that you're forming and how that's adding to your brand over time. Is it taking away because you're not going to deliver and they're not really going to refer you on and you're probably going to end up losing their business at some point anyway? And you have to really think about as if you're depositing in or if you're going to be taking out of your culture.
That's incredible. How long has Now Marketing Group been in business?
So we started in 2010. So 9 years. Oh my God. It's like, seems like yesterday, but yeah.
And has this always been the way that you do business, or did you start like kind of, you had to learn?
No, I started out honestly with the whole premise of wanting to make relationships the forefront of business marketing. That was in my mission statement from the very beginning. I didn't know 100% what that really looked like. I just knew what I wanted it to feel like, and kind of just started from that, and definitely grown and changed a lot in that and the 9 years. But that's always been the foundation of what we've stood on.
I love that. Now, how long ago did you start running Social Media Week Lima?
Oh, so 7 years kind of, it's been around, but the first couple years that we ran it, it was like local in our office. So like 35 people, in our office. And we were like, why are we just keeping this to just, smaller group? Yeah, it was intimate. And I decided, you know what, let's go big or go home. And so about the past 4 years, we've tried to make it a more regional event versus just local community.
I love that. And so, that actually makes sense for relationship marketing, because you started out with the more intimate one-on-one needs.
Yeah.
Now, did you start out with like your clients there or your partners?
Yeah. So funny story, how I started Now Marketing Group in general in 2010 was offering free trainings to individuals in the community. Into individuals in the community and teaching them how to do social media and online marketing. And people were like, why are you going to teach us to do what you want us to like pay you to do? And I was like, because you're not hiring me because you can't Google or YouTube this, right? Like how to make a Facebook post and whatever. You're hiring me for ideas and because you have better things to do, like run your business and do this. So I've always had that the audience that's sitting in on the trainings, right? So both a mixture of our clients and people in the community that are in-house marketing for their company, where they'll probably most likely never hire us, but they still are building community and referring us on more often because they've set in on those trainings. So we've done that since the very get-go. This was before the beautiful day of live video where I could expand on. I actually had to like rent a space and let people know about it and all that. But then Social Media Week Lima, the first like 35 people were definitely clients, friends of, and people that were just really interested in what's to come in social media.
I really love that. And now you have made Social Media Week Lima a much bigger thing. It's not just local speakers. It's not just local attendees. People are flying in from all over the place to attend this thing.
And I'm so excited.
Yes, and that's because of the relationships that you have built.
Yeah, it's amazing, honestly. Like I am so in awe of the giving and kind nature that is just this community. People that are willing to come to little old Lima, Ohio, population 30,000, lots of cornfields and trains, and show up to really give back to the community and let people know what's to come when it with social media and online marketing, and not just show up to speak to get their name out there, but show up to speak and build relationships themselves. Everybody that's coming in is just part of that same ideology and tribe and giving nature. So I am super humbled by how many people are asking to speak and just the people that are showing up to provide that. Like, I'm in awe.
And we have speaker Chris Strub watching right now.
Okay.
Woohoo! He's gonna be doing a panel, as I said before, that I am on, and Mike Alton from Agora Pulse, and Addison Zhang. And we are going to be talking about the harsh truths of marketing, which itself, that stemmed out of a video that we all contributed to, which in turn stemmed out of a Forbes article that you wrote. So can you talk about how this whole harsh truth of marketing has blown up here?
Yeah, so I hate kind of like the vanilla blogs, right? Like it's just regurgitating the same information, but then also just things that people don't want to say. Like clients will come to me, and say, or potential clients, I should say, okay, how quickly before I get leads? If I'm giving you X amount of dollars, how quickly can I see a return? I'm like, if you're just getting started, a year if you're lucky, and I'll say like the things that people don't really want to hear, but it's the truth. And I feel like more people stepping up and sharing that information could be good for everyone. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write all the harsh truths people don't really want to say, because it's like, yeah, but you don't want to give social a bad name, and just put it out there. And luckily Forbes took it and ran with it. It was a really successful article. And I was like, you know what? I bet other people have things to add to this too, not just my 2 cents. So I wanted to pick others that I knew were along the same lines of just being open and honest and transparent about what's working and what's not, and definitely has an opinion on it, and reached out to you guys and said, hey, I would love your take on this as well. Shared the article, and you guys delivered.
And so this was your second sort of all-star video, at least.
Yes. So I'm a huge fan of contributing together, right? And collaboration. So a lot of my articles, you'll notice pretty much 90% of them always include someone else in it and have from the beginning. So I think that's a key to success with relationship marketing. Like I said, turn your followers into fans. Like, how can you get them excited about it? Your community into collaborators with you. So find other individuals that believe what you believe and ask them how you can get involved with them, and offer them a platform to share their voice as well, because there's no such thing as a shortage of marketing opportunities for all of us. And I feel like if we all can collaborate together, everybody wins.
And that's such a wonderful example of what you're talking about, relationship marketing, because just like you don't want to work with any old client, you want to work with the clients who you are the best for, you also aren't hoarding all the thought leadership for yourself. Like, you are bringing in other great minds, building relationships with other people who are coming from a place of giving, and you yourself are giving that to your audience, which is just spectacular.
Yeah, I want them to learn from the same people I'm learning from too. I feel like all of us have a zone of genius, and when we come together, and different, perspectives on things too. I'm a firm believer that there's not one way of doing things, that it's just, there's the best practices, and then you add your style and flavor to it. So I want others to see different vantage points on how to use live video or podcasting or what they think's working, and then let the client make their decision.
Absolutely. Now, Tim wants to know, how do you deal with instances when the relationships turn bad? Because someone can seem great and they can seem like you guys are vibing, and then suddenly they turn, because humans.
I've had a few breakups in my day. Yeah. If it turns bad, I mean, the first thing to know is going into the relationship, not to be quick about it, right? So like making sure all the decision makers are at the table. I actually have a couple videos and blogs on, how to handle a bad breakup with a client and what to do to try to avoid that, right?
That's another harsh truth in marketing.
Yeah,
Sometimes that's going to happen.
It's going to happen, right? And so most of it comes from the very beginning, though. Everybody's super excited to get started and everything's sunshine and rainbows, and you move too quickly and the expectations aren't set up. And so clients expecting one thing, you're like, no way, that's not in the plan, right? So it's just starting out on the wrong foot. So there are some things that pop up that will give you those signals to kind of join back together and really communicate and speak your truth there. And hopefully you guys can regroup and get solid on the plan together. But if not, then yeah, you have to have those conversations. I've had it, there's been 2 clients that I've said, you know what, I don't think we're the best fit for you. Here's some people that I would recommend. I really want to work with people that respect our time and my team members. Like I do not tolerate anyone treating team members bad. So if that comes up, that's an immediate kind of, I'm sorry, we're not the bbest company for you, because we will treat you with utmost respect, but I expect my team members to be treated the same way. And if that's not the case, then, we have to part ways, unfortunately.
You mentioned warning signs. What are some of those warning signs that someone is not the client for you, or that maybe they were and aren't anymore?
Yeah. So if they're not communicating with you on an ongoing basis, that's always a red flag. If they are communicating with you, but expecting more and more and more, but not seeing the value in compensating for that, that's a red flag. If there's for me, the red flags are if they're wanting kind of quick fixes to things, like buying email lists, or if they're wanting to buy fans or followers, things like that doesn't align with like the ideals, that's always a red flag. If they're not, like if you guys just don't see eye to eye on ideas, right, and creativity, or if they're not willing to participate, or trust is a huge one. So like for us, we manage like clients' social media profiles. So we're given a huge amount of trust, and we write the content and provide that to the clients at least 2 weeks ahead of time to get approvals and get that shared out. But if we're not able to kind of meet there with the approvals and they're not jiving with, the copy or something, then of course that would be a red flag as well. That it's just maybe not a good fit.
We have a longer question here, so I'm not going to put it up on the screen. But April wants to know what tips you have for reaching out to collaborate with people who may not yet see you as an entrepreneur, even though you see yourself as one, because you're bridging a gap that needs to be filled in the marketplace. So it's really about kind of when you're getting started, you want to connect with people, you want to collaborate, but maybe you don't have that recognition yet. They don't know that they can trust you. How do you communicate that and get those relationships going?
Start with 5 people you know first, right? So like I started with a local BNI group. And it was like, okay, give me your best tips on networking. And they're super excited. They're your peers, they're wanting to collaborate with you. Then you take that piece and then you go to your next like 5 people that you're like, oh, I really want to write an article on this. These 5 people would be great that you trust, and show that piece that you created and what it would look like to them. So like, for example, the same example that Christine shared about the harsh truths. I'm like, here's the article that I'm thinking, giving them clear expectations and saying, I would love your input on X and in this form, like just being clear. Most people are going to show up and they want to contribute. They like being asked because it's showing that you value their opinion.
It's very flattering. I was thrilled to be on that message. When I was in that messaging chunk about the video, I was like, ooh, I've been chosen.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like all these grand people, right? So like I'll use a client example. We work with a real estate company, and we asked home stagers and home inspectors their top tips of selling a home faster. And so we were reaching out to their business and said, hey, look, we think you are the best of the best at what you do. We've seen you show up. We love your website. Show them that you've paid attention, not just like blanket message, BCC everyone and reach out, but showing that you took some time and researched them and said, hey, we'd love your tip on X. Here's where it's going to be hosted. Here's what you can expect. And then they write that article and send it to you. And then you send them back the proof. And it's amazing what happens. People are still sharing content that we've written like 5 years ago that they've been featured in because they're part of it. And it's still relevant as well.
I used to be a journalist, and I found that people were really excited because the fact is, it is mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
I get a good high quality source, so I'm making my piece better, but then they are also getting that exposure. And that's what it's all about. Tim Lewis points out, he said, you can actually connect with people at a higher level than you'd expect. A lot of it is confidence. So you can make those asks. If you find somebody of value and you're worried that they won't decide that you are of sufficient importance to give their value to you, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? You can ask and they'll say no. But if you ask and they say yes, that's amazing.
Yeah. And if they say no, okay, thank you, next. You know, like
you didn't have them already. So you lost literally
You're fine.
nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, it really just comes down to just being clear in what you're asking for. And most people, if they see that it's not a huge time investment of them and it's clear instructions, they're going to participate.
Yeah. It sounds like in general, a lot of what you do is about identifying the vibes that you are on and that you want to find other people who are on, and then ensuring mutual benefit to everyone, to the other participants and to the audience. And it sounds like you do that not only with collaborators, but with clients too.
Yes. You get me, Christine.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I get you.
Because you're good at relationship marketing. So you got me kind of on that vibe.
Yeah,
so
if you can make the other person look like the hero and make them shine, then it's automatically going to shine back on you. So if you just approach every opportunity like, how can I make the other person look really, really good? And in turn, they're going to feel good, look good, and they're going to push that back to you, right? So it's mutually beneficial always.
All right, so I'm going to ask if anyone has any remaining questions. And while you are typing out your questions, hopefully, Jessika, tell people why they should go out to Lima, Ohio. Because the fact is, I know that people will be like, why am I going to go out to Lima, Ohio? Because this is I think it's one of the best values you can possibly get for a conference, because you have the speakers from all these much bigger and more expensive conferences there in Lima. Like, you've got Brian, like, who do you have? Who do you have, first of all? Tell us some of the big names.
Oh my gosh. So we have 28 amazing speakers. We have Brian Fanzo, Chris Drab, you, Addison Zhang. We have Mia Voss, Bella Vasta, Carolina Marabella. We have Troy Sandage. We have Ross Brand. We have Damian Ross. We have Katie Horner, Jeff Howell. Who am I going to forget? Hopefully no one. Angus Nelson. I love Angus. Mike Gingrich, and so many more people. Oh my gosh.
I love it so much. I know it's not a pop quiz. People can go. I put the link in there. And it's funny because you have my next several social guests.
Yay! That's awesome. But why you should go, right? So each year, not only do we have amazing speakers, right? That's part of it. But each year I try to intentionally focus on what's to come. So I'll give you the past 2 years so you can see what I mean by that. 2 years ago, we focused on the relationship marketing and preparing for 2020 and all these big shifts that are happening. So talking about voice search, talking about video and all that. Last year was the human experience. So why you have to double down on creating these many experiences. This year, the theme is craveable. So how to create an irresistible brand, thinking episodic, thinking, drawing your audience back in through many fixes, if you will. And so that's the theme. So one, we're helping to set you up for the next year and beyond success of what's to come. Two, it's a great experience that you get to experience with a group that's large enough to get a great impact of these speakers and so many new faces, but also small enough where you get to know everyone and connect with them and truly build great relationships there. So all of us are sharing in the same experience. There's no breakout sessions or anything. We all are sharing in the same experience together, hanging out together both days. 2-day event, super affordable, swag bags, lots of cool sponsors like Agora Pulse and Wave that will be there, and many others. And it's just a great time to connect.
It's going to be so incredible. And it's funny because I've started, when I go to conferences, I'm starting to put together up in some sort of paid workshop opportunity while I'm traveling. I'm doing nothing for Lima because I'm going to need to spend every second I'm in Ohio with these people who I am so excited to see. I'm not doing anything but hanging with these people in Lima. It's going to be incredible. I'm so excited to see the people I'm going to see. If you're one of them, awesome. I can't wait to see you. If you're not one of them yet, the link is right down there. I put the link in the comments for Social Media Week Lima. Check it out. I mean, if you compare the speaker list to the price, like, it's insane. Even if you add a flight on there, it's insane. Like, just go. Just come
and hotels are super affordable when we're staying there too. Yeah. And one other thing with that, I've even heard people say, oh my God, the group alone was worth the amount. Our group is super active all year round, and relationships are already forming. People are already collaborating together.
Gail is slaying that group moderation.
I love Gail.
Can I just say, Gail is like amazing. And who's name? Amber? Is she?
Amber Stahl. Yep.
Gail and Amber have just been like, they get community. You know what? They belong on your team. They are vibing with the whole relationship thing.
Yeah. I have one amazing team. I'm truly, truly, truly lucky.
I love it so much. All right. Well, thank you so much for staying on a little extra.
Yeah, Jessika, no problem.
For part 2 of our broadcast. Part 2 was like killer. So, I mean, you know, if you're
mix up,
I might have to put that there. I might have to be like, all right, so just skip part 1, just go right to part 2.
Everything you need to know, part 2.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jessika Phillips of Now Marketing Group, and of course of Social Media Week Lima in Lima, Ohio, which you may know from Glee. Yeah. Are we going to sing out there? Can we get like a little?
There will be some karaoke happening. Just a little sneak peek.
I'm going to be slaying the karaoke. I'm not hitting the mechanical shark. Like, I will break something, but I'm going to slay the karaoke.
What about the axe throwing? You going to do that? No. It's a great way. It's a great way of getting aggression out. I'm telling you.
Nobody wants me to throw any axes, especially since I'll be drinking with Jen and Julie. All right. Thank you so much, Jessika. Thank you so much to everyone who bore with us and tuned in to this lovely part 2. Again, I'm Christine Gritmon. I do this every Friday at 12 noon. I'm really hoping for no technical difficulties next week. I'm going to have Bella Vasta, who is another speaker at Social Media Week Lima, and she also is part of your little crew, the Queenies, the 7 Queenies. I think by the end of this year, I'm going to have all 7 of the Queenies on. I still have a few others lined up. So I'm very excited. Bella Vasta is going to be talking next week about Facebook groups. So tune in on next Friday at 12 noon Eastern time. And thank you, Jessika.
Thank you.